5:30, I'll call to order Chisholm City Council meeting, rescheduled meeting, December 30th, 2024. Susan, would you please take roll call?
Counselor Halverson.
Present.
Counselor McElraha.
Present.
Counselor Boston.
Here.
Counselor Halva.
Present.
Counselor Baki.
Here.
Mayor Lynn.
Here. All right, council, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed. Thank you, Travis.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to add an item either under unfinished or miscellaneous
Okay.
regarding, once again, our photocopier. So wherever you want to put it, I'd like to just talk about it a little bit.
Okay. So in our miscellaneous, addition D. All right, with that addition, Jed?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Travis.
Good with me.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, council reports. Councilor Halverson, good evening. Start with you.
Good evening. I don't have a report, but I'd just like to say thanks to Cheyenne for serving on council and everything you've done. Best wishes.
Councilor Fulton, good evening.
Good evening. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy new year and may 2025 be full of love and peace. And beautiful moments with family and friends. I saw that quote online today and I thought I wanted to share that with you. So, thank you.
Councilor Baki, good evening.
Good evening. I will echo Marty. Happy New Year and thank you, Cheyenne, for your service. It's been a pleasure to work with you.
Councilor McElraha, good evening.
Good evening. No.
Councilor Alva, good evening.
Yeah. I have no report, but I want to say it's an honor to serve with you, Cheyenne, and thank you for all you've taught me. And best luck to you.
Yes, absolutely. I hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday season. I hope everyone has a great new year. Councilor McElraha, I cannot say enough how much I appreciate you and everything that you've done. So, on behalf of the community, thank you. Ambulance director.
You want me to give that report for her? 3 years?
3 years?
3 years and she's not here to give a report. It's her third birthday.
3 years already. Wow.
Happy 3 years.
Agreed. Fire Chief Jason.
No formal report. Cheyenne from the fire department. Thank you.
Public Works, Larry, good evening.
Quick report, Mayor.
I just remind folks at home that this is unusual weather for you as it is for us. I know there's challenges. I get lots of different requests where we put snow, what happens to the slush. We came out on Saturday, we had a bunch of equipment out and we got the alleys passable, and then today we're fixing them up just in time for the garbage route on the south side tomorrow, and we'll work on the north side so we can get there on Thursday. So garbage pickup is Thursday for the north side route those of you that are usually on Wednesday, and then Thursday normal route is Friday. So with that, I mean, it never is supposed to rain in northern Minnesota in the end of July, or it feels like the end of July sometimes, in the end of December into January. So it's frustrating for you, it's frustrating for us. So we had a beautiful pack on the alleys so they could be scraped all winter long, and it just soaked up all the water, and even frost came out in some areas. So it's crazy for you, it's crazy for us, but we'll get through it together. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Parks, Recs, Trails, Bridget.
No report.
Clerk Treasurer Devin, good evening.
Good evening. No report.
City Administrator Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening. No report.
Hey, council, look for approval of the consent agenda, which is a list of bills, communications, minutes of previous city council meeting, and payroll and overtime.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I know I wasn't at the last meeting, but I was wondering if, or on page 13, or when you guys accepted the final levy, if you guys could put the 5% in there.
Yep.
So it's documented.
Perfect. Susan, can we make that just put there? Okay. Any other?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion?
List of bills actually in here. We're gonna see if we can pack it boys and all that.
In here, they're never ever in the packet, but I don't see them on the table. Usually, they're set out.
Right. They're open.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Motion carries. Moving on, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First, I've never been first before. Thank you for the others. I ask for your support and approval of the edited job description. Just a small edits for this water sewer utility position. I feel like we're kind of going after some of the construction workers that maybe in the late off season, maybe it's a really good time to post the job. And in that, we're looking for a little leniency on the Class B driver's license to go from 6 months to a year. That's the only major change. So with that, welcome any discussion, of course, from the council. But otherwise, we'll be looking for your support and acceptance of the edited water sewer utility position.
Mr. Mayor, can I just make a comment? Okay. Larry, I just want to thank you for showing what you would like to get changed on here when you put it in red or orange, whatever the color is. I know with some other departments, when they want to do a change, they haven't been doing that. So I appreciate it, and I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, and I support this. And was this ran through ASME?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a motion,
I
April?
make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, everyone. And then with that, a follow-up to post internally and externally. I feel like, especially the way the winter's going, we have a little time. This isn't a rush. This position really would start up in the spring anyhow, when that water sewer work starts to develop and we get past snow plowing season. So we'll take it slow, but in the effort of just keeping it moving forward, we'll ask for your permission to post internally and externally, which is also agreed upon with the union. And then we'll post internally for that 10-day period. And because there's never we don't think anyone internally will sign, but there's always a chance and a right that they have. So we'll do that, and then we'll go external after that, so we're not wasting time and money running ads and stuff for a job that could have been filled in-house. So we'll take it slow, I guess.
Okay, so I'll look for a motion to post internally and externally.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Bridget.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On page 24 is the Redhead Mountain Bike Park Master Plan that has been worked on over this past year. It was informed by an intercept survey conducted at Redhead, an online survey, and public engagement session in August this past year. We did have a working session on the master plan in November, and It is now coming to council for approval. This particular plan in front of you is the plan that would be submitted to the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails Commission for special feature park designation. There will be a secondary master plan that will come to you. It won't be a lot different, but it will have some added information. But this is the items within the master plan that the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails Commission are requiring for their submissions. So I am asking for approval on this master plan.
Perfect. Council, unless there's any questions, I'd look for a motion to approve the Red Head Mountain Bike Park master plan.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion?
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I just want to add that I've attended these working sessions. This is super exciting for our area. Thank you very much, Bridget.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Can we get our own version? Make sure our takes the font size readable.
Yeah, like a PDF.
Yeah.
Like a bound, nice.
I
Yeah.
understand this is for their portal,
Yep. Right.
but a lot of this isn't.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
We will have a nice balanced packet ready for everybody. And that will be made available to the public online as well as coming to City Hall. They could look at a hard copy of it. Let's see where am I now. Page 64. There's an RFP in your packet, pages 64 through 90, for a second bid package on trail building for the LCCMR. We were able to put out one bid package already. Those trails are not 100% completed, but we now know the remainder of the trails that will be in the second bid package for LCCMR, and that is included in the RFP. So I am looking for approval to post and award, and I think all of that good stuff for the RFP.
Make that motion.
Okay, thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion?
Yeah, and there's, I think this is a typo on the second line. Is this second RFP? This is the city's first. Second.
Yeah, on LCCMR it is the second, so it shouldn't say first.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll make those changes. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. On pages 92, or page 92, you have a resolution to apply for grant funding for Redhead Mountain Bike Park for the Trails Capacity Program in the amount of $10,000. If awarded, this funding would need to be spent out next year on trail maintenance. This would just help subsidize trail maintenance that needs to be done. So I will be applying if I receive approval to apply.
Thank you, Bridget. I council look for a motion to approve resolution 1224-106.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you apply for the grants and everything, is it always go in Stephanie's name because she's the fiscal, or does it go in both your names
No,
for applying?
no. She would be
I sign
doing
off.
all the signing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's you're basic. You both are collaborating. Okay. I just wondered because it said her name.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Question?
Yeah.
What is the agency for this?
It is the American Trails program. It was brought to me through one of the lead staff at IMBA as a suggestion. That is the name of the program, American Trails
Where are they based?
Capacity. It's national.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next grant application would be to the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation for Redhead Mountain Bike Park maintenance. I'm seeking through this program, it's called it's St. Paul Minnesota Foundation Minnesota Community Ideas Program. I would be seeking $160,000. It might be a far cry. I don't know, hard to say, but we do meet the requirements with ongoing maintenance. So it's a good amount if we were to receive it. So I'd like to apply if I have approval.
Absolutely. Good job. Council, I'd look for a motion to approve resolution 1224-107.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the next on page 96 is a resolution to make application to the Minnesota Department of Health for the Minnesota Community Facility Project grants. This particular grant, there's very minimal projects within Parks and Rec that would meet the requirements of this grant. It is a one-time still COVID relief funding grant through the Department of Education. Wait, which one am I talking about?
Department of Health.
Is this, yeah. Mhm. Department of Health. I thought this was education. It should be education. Can we make that correction? Sorry, I don't know how I made that mistake. It is the Department of Education. Anyway, multi-purpose community facilities qualify for this particular grant. And so the one project that is being considered for Longyear Lake Park is a community fitness court, which is a unique addition to the park. In the adopted master plan, we have individual health workout equipment. This would probably take the place of that individual equipment that we kind of designed to be sporadic throughout the park, and it would be then one isolated area for workouts, which would be at the existing changing house that is dilapidated and blighted and really needs to go as soon as possible. So if we don't receive this grant funding, this as a priority kind of falls to the bottom. It's not originally in phase one, so we probably wouldn't be pursuing it in any major degree until we think through it more. But because this grant is available, it's a fit. I thought this application should be submitted. So it's for $236,000, and it would add a fitness studio, which you can see in the image in the packet. And I can answer any questions about the fitness studio. I've been learning a lot about it. So
I got one question, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Just for how's it for like cold climate areas?
well, ultimately in any park situation and the type of equipment that's in the park, I think it gets utilized less in the winter than even like a playground would by youth in the summer. However, there are Minnesota towns that are incorporating this type of equipment. Moose Lake, if you have the opportunity, is the closest to us that has added this fitness court. What's nice, the bonus is there's not a lot of maintenance to it. It's very like standalone structures that just need to be like leaf blown, not a lot of ongoing maintenance to it. And it's app-based, so it's user-friendly in that way. If the snow was cleared off of it in the winter, an individual could access it and do those exercises in the winter. Another component of this through the other grant, the National Fitness Campaign that I would be applying to, is the National Fitness Campaign has partnered with various, no, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's what it is, to cover the cost of the public art that would go on the side of the fitness court. So only in Minnesota is that cost covered, and it's a significant cost. So that's a good reduction for Minnesota towns that incorporate this into their cities.
Perfect. Any other questions? It'd be a great addition into the community. So besides the clarification, we're going to amend, make sure we specify Minnesota Department of Education for Resolution 1224-108. I would look for a motion and support.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the next one on page 101 is a resolution to make application to the National Fitness Campaign, who is kind of the driving force behind getting a fitness court studio here. And they have grants available upwards of $60,000 for the studio. So this would be a second application.
Okay. Thank you, April. Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? Besides, good job, good work. Over $500,000 in grants go after. So thank you very much. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And on page 103 and 102 in the memo, I have detailed quite a bit of information. I just want to present an update on recent communication I received from the Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club. The president, Paul Cicchetto, has reached out to me, and I dated it on 12/13 to alert Chisholm of the changes that the Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club is planning to make to the league. And the changes, I think, are all bullet pointed there. So to not read everything to you, I'll just highlight a couple that stand out, or just to encompass the changes, is that in past years, and for the past couple of years that I've been in charge of the Youth Soccer League in Chisholm, we've paid a registration fee to Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club, who kind of is the lead organizer of the Vic Power League. And that registration fee over the course of the last several years has been $400. Previous to that, it was $300, but that was a good decade ago. And I was told 2 years ago that they would increase the fees to $1,000 just to cover the cost, but we were never charged that amount. In 2024, I requested invoice, and the invoice that was sent was $400. So that didn't happen, even though we anticipated that it would come. And then this year, I received the phone call, and Paul shared that that the league is basically reforming, in that they can't allow the towns, like it would be Chisholm or Nashua, Keewatin, to have their own registration system anymore. Which too, I do want to share that we just recently purchased that Amelia software, and soccer was one of a big reason why we purchased it. We do use it for other programs, so it's not a loss there. But all registration is meant to go through Hibbing, and the team Chisholm can keep its name. So the jersey would say Chisholm, but the Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club would collect that entire fee, which it more than doubles the fee. Like we just passed a scale, like we were charging $30 for years and years, and I just said I think we need to go to $45 to cover all of the expenses associated, and now like the early bird special is 70 and it jumps to 90, and then if you don't get in within the regular registration period, it increases even more. So it's a hit to families in Chisholm, that is for certain. But as far as the communication goes, it doesn't sound like we have any option other than to have registration go through Hibbing and have them collect that full fee. As an organization here, we would still have to organize the practices and recruit coaches to some degree, although the coaches would be going through a different like what do you call it? Training. Yeah, a different training than what we have provided. And Paul Cicchetto's kind of explanation is that he wants to see everything be a bit more streamlined and organized as a whole. And he just can't do that with the different cities coming in at a lower cost. That's what I know. We've had ongoing communication, so I can answer questions. Stephanie has had ongoing communication. She can answer questions.
Where should we begin? Let's see. So you know for certain that the 70, 90, and 110 is what Hibbing families pay.
Correct. Yes.
$1,000. The increase from 400 to 1,000 is only for us in Nashwauk. Or is that?
It was meant to happen, and it would be in lieu of this registration process change, but the new expectation is that we don't pay a separate fee. All of the kids just register through Hibbing.
So there's no charge to the city anymore. It's just now covered under the registration fee.
Yeah. So everything goes to the Chisholm Soccer Club.
How many players do we usually have?
In the neighborhood of 100.
I have a question. Did Paul Cicchetto contact either one of you and ask you if you could be on a committee to go over some new registration or team guidelines?
No, and that's something that we did ask a couple times, why we weren't brought into this conversation prior to the decision from the board being made.
Well, you'll get a phone call after this meeting from me, just letting you know.
So I got a question. So I mean, if we're paying the same as Hibbing, would Hibbing be using their, so the families have to pay the same as we do, but they're going to utilize that money to pay their coaching staff? I mentioned that their coaches get paid.
I don't know. I'm not sure how if they pay their coaches. I know that in the breakdown, you can see insurance jerseys, field fees. He did have a fee associated per player. This is all per player. So there was 20 for the average, 20 per player to pay refs. The admin fee is $5. I don't know if that's just to pay a secretary at the Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club or if it is to pay coaches. I don't know.
Mr. Mayor, this is all for like pre-K, K, every age, right?
Pre-K through 6th grade is.
So I think that paying $100 for a pre-K kid to play soccer is ridiculous in price. It's varsity rates in our city.
Someone very wise once told me, don't get mad, get curious. It was very, very hard not to get upset. Like when I first was laid out, I'm like, this is, it's kind of, I mean, I don't believe that Chisholm has any representation on the Chisholm Hibbing Soccer Board.
No.
Do any other communities have representation? Yeah.
They won't even offer that
That's what I'm
choice.
wondering. Like, why is it Hibbing Chisholm if there's no Chisholm representation on it?
Yep.
I did ask that question, and I was told that it's because it's also utilized as the Hibbing Chisholm booster for the varsity team, the club is.
I mean, we have a co-op with Hibbing, yes. So when the kids get to high school, they play, it's Hibbing Chisholm soccer. But, I mean, even if it is a booster, that's fine. But if you're going to call it the Hibbing Chisholm Soccer Club, somebody from Chisholm has to be on it.
100%.
I mean,
I did ask when their next meeting was so we could come, because I anticipated questions from the community and from the city council. I was told that there's a public meeting once a year, and it is in October, and it is advertised on their social media platforms.
Well, October's a long way away.
I have a question, Bridget. Would you be interested if your boss said that we could start our own soccer league for K through 6?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of possibilities out there. I wouldn't turn down any possibilities, especially if it were to increase participation. I do know that a $70, upwards of $110 registration fee is going to decrease registration. I don't know that for a fact, but I can presume.
I can imagine a family of 1, 2, 3, different standings, different income levels. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is.
Yeah, and I have not alerted the coaches yet. I have not alerted families yet. In hopes maybe that something could be figured out, but if it can't, they would need to know January 1st is when this registration is meant to open, so we're already behind the trigger on this early bird registration.
Well, I'll tell you this, Bridget. I don't know if we should take action on this tonight, but we can. But I would vote no personally right now. But I would lend my AD services to help you if we decided to go on our own. I would certainly help you organize it, figure out what practices are going to be, all that stuff if we wanted to go that direction. If we want to try to have a meeting with them first, maybe that's, I don't know. I mean, but I would certainly help.
Thanks, Travis.
Yeah.
I would think a conversation with Nashwauk should also be, anybody else that's involved with this, I can imagine it's a sticker shock to those individuals as well.
Yeah, we have reached out to them too, so we can have further conversations.
Already at these. It's on.
Yeah, I think typically in each age group we've had 2 teams from Chisholm.
Correct.
And Nashwauk usually has 1. So there'd be at least 3. But if we broke it in, they'd be.
Nashwauk did share that they were thinking that they might have upwards of 3 teams. But I haven't been at the fields to count or to know.
I don't think we would have more than 2 in each group. But if we have 3 teams.
Nashwauk suggested that registration could decline with this, but they were thinking of having 3 teams per age group this year. This year.
Okay,
That's awesome.
so instead of $30 in the city paying for a $400 fee, we're going to go to the city paying no fee and everything
Going to the families.
So what is the bullet point 3 where it talks about $8,000? What is that? I don't understand that.
That would be the total charge. Okay, so say we had 100 players, and I may have used 110. I don't remember what my metrics were, but I estimated how many players it would be. So that would be approximately the amount that they would receive from us or from our players.
Because the city of Chisholm will no longer receive any payment for it. Everything will go to the club. So last year we paid $400 to the club to be in the Big Power League. This year, if everything goes to the club, we have the same amount of players. It would be around $8,000 if they would receive. Correct.
Well, yeah.
So we have other costs that are associated with this. Are there?
Correct.
Right. That we.
Equipment costs and then just staff time.
Right.
I will say it's a significant amount of staff time in the spring that I put into this particular sport. And so if this were to move forward with all of the Chisholm youth registering through Hibbing, the expectation is that we still organize the practices, which would still be staff time. And then it would be our field, maintenance, and it would be our equipment. So they're not all of the fees they're all going to Hibbing. They're not coming to the city of Chisholm to purchase new balls and items like that.
So the Hibbing Soccer Club is looking at this as a business aspect instead of, giving something for the community that you
Right.
provided. Pretty much. We're looking at, we can give $400 or $500 for our, up to $1,000 to our athletic club, but if we charge everybody and make a, turn it into a profit, then we can get $8,000 to our club.
Right.
It's not exactly what it's supposed to be about.
And I think understanding too where they are financially, if we had a better understanding of where they were and where that gap was, maybe there's a resolution we can get to without burdening the families for their, like you said, 6-year-old to be able to play hockey. To be able to play soccer. But I don't know what that gap is of what they need to get to. Because they did express there's financial constraints within the club too. But we're unsure what that number is.
I would say just even keeping this something specific inside of Chisholm is we can help dictate where our jerseys come from. We can utilize local businesses, not buying them from out of state companies that are cost savings. But again, they don't help the communities.
Yeah, and plus it asks for scholarship money from us on top of that. So really, we could be potentially, depending on how much scholarships would be asked for, it could end up being $1,000 anyway.
And the scholarships are
For youth families
For
that would
people
apply
who
that
can't
can't
afford
afford.
That would be my guess.
When I was reading the scholarship part, I was wondering if we could potentially, because we planned for an amount, if we could give that to the club this year, because I don't know realistically how easy it is to put together a plan for kids for soccer in the summer. If we could put that amount towards scholarships for Chisholm kids.
Yeah. This also depends on how we vote, whether we're going to do it or not. I don't realistically, I don't think it would be difficult for you and I to sit down and plan it out.
Are you talking about what we currently have in the budget per revenue to put towards scholarship?
Yeah, because
We don't have any. We don't have a revenue on soccer.
it goes to Hibbing.
No, because right now we just try to keep it where all children are able to play soccer. So we try to keep the costs low and be able to. So it's not a revenue generator for the city by any, I don't think we have an excess of the revenue on it.
Could we use some of that gambling money? That's awesome.
Yeah, we can look at it.
Yeah, if you factor staff time, we have never had if you factor staff time, which I don't, but we've never had a surplus from the sport. One other thing I do want to point out, and that is discrepancies, I think, in some of these numbers, and this is probably where that communication piece needs to come in, where I am able to sit down and look at the numbers with the club so that I know really truly what these numbers are associated with. But the field fees of $1,750 are not accurate in what I have been told the Hibbing field charges, the city of Hibbing charges per player. So that would be an inquiry that I would like to, it's just, these numbers are curious and I want to understand them.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to table this until Stephanie and Bridget have an opportunity to get more information?
I tried to meet with the board. I asked for when their next board meeting was, and I was told it's in October.
I would be in favor of tabling this and asking Steph and Bridget to reach out to the board and say, I think it's time to call a special meeting if we need more information.
Yep.
Either that or join us at a working session if they want to sit with the entire council.
Great.
And we can invite Nashwauk also. We can have a big working session.
There we go.
I'll make a motion to table this.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Bridget. Good job.
my place.
105.
Okay, the first item that I have on the agenda is the contract change order from the public safety building. So we have gotten our final numbers from the public safety building. And on page 106, as you remember, original contract value was $11,199,947. We were able to have a savings of $244,569.47. So our new contract value amount will be $10,955,377.53. So we actually came in under budget on that building. We are still working through some warranty things. That's at the 11-month mark. I do have contact with Brendan still. A couple glitches that are getting worked out, but that isn't going to change working through some of those things by this contract change order. So we're just looking for approval on that new number.
Council, I would look for a motion to approve the contract change order, amount of $10,955,377.53.
Make a motion?
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion?
Can I just add one thing?
Yes.
Travis, actually, just so council's aware that savings will just be used to minimize some of the reserves that we're using for the building. So that will just reduce some of our reserves. We did have some additional costs that came up at the end, so that number was larger. So that will help with that.
Good. Yeah. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item I have on the agenda is a 2025 contract for North Shore Human Resources Consultant, Ravina. Has been helping the city for the past few years with policies, procedures, getting us on track. And she will continue doing that. We do have a monthly fee of $1,025. And then if there is additional hours at $85, which I don't think we've ever hit additional hours. We've always stayed within that monthly fee.
Hey, Council, unless there's any questions, I look for a motion to approve the North Shore Human Resources Consulting proposal for extension of current contract.
Questions here for
Yep.
Stephanie. Has her rates changed from last year?
No.
Okay. And has she been very beneficial to you?
Yeah, she helps. She definitely keeps us up to date on certain state statutes that have changed and does a lot of the procedural things that helps me out to get our hope is to have our handbook completely done with all our policies and procedures updated in it, and we're almost there. So yeah, she does a lot of behind the scenes work like that.
Yeah. Motion by Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We break now into the recess. Okay. Let's talk photocopier.
I'm just gonna pass these down. The top one is straight out of our package. The second one is the same thing. I just printed it off on a different printer at work. I brought this up before because a lot of times stuff is really hard to see and hard to read, especially the color. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you look into leasing a new machine. That way we don't get saddled with all the costs of owning. I think if you lease, you have a problem. They don't even have a machine. But if you own it, you own it.
Right.
Well, do we own currently, or do we lease?
Lease it.
Yeah.
And then pay for copy. So it's pretty much how much revenue she uses. Very confusing.
Look at even the second page, the differences. I printed that on a 10-year-old copier.
So you just see if they'll update it.
Right.
So it seems like they tried to tune it up and fix it, but the quality would just be better. So
I think some of it is that's the original copy, and some of it we have to do copies too. So, but if you want to get something different, just let us know.
I don't know if it's
Maybe we'll start by having check the resolution, Polly. Maybe there's something that can be adjusted on most of that stuff there typically
We
is.
did have one.
You did?
Respond to that if you'd like.
Sure.
So they did adopt everything for a resolution. And it's when you print from your source, it comes out really nice and clean. But if you make copies, it's not something that works. It's all copiers like that. Printing from source, but the amount of printing we would do and the amount of time it would take to print individual packets would be really expensive. And they did come in and tune it up and said that was the best.
So the point is that we are here to make decisions based on information that's given to us, and if we can't read, we're making decisions based on things we can't read.
Oh, and I
So
wouldn't be
that's the point is,
I understand.
we're making, sometimes they're important decisions. And we're expected to make decisions on stuff that we can't read. So where's the priority? What's the priority? Your convenience or us making decisions?
Well, I would say if there's anything that we get on Friday that we can't see, then we can always stop in. I haven't, I don't know, maybe I'm just young and my eyes are good, but I haven't had an issue with the quality. And if I do have a question, I usually stop in to see somebody. So are you saying, Susan, instead of if you just, printing more copies from the original instead of making copies,
I could try that if you like.
see how it works?
Everybody take a look at those two.
I have my packet in front of me and I looked over it when I get it on Friday. And
Any difference?
I look at the copy on my iPad. I actually typically don't open my physical packet until we get here. I look at the digital copy.
I don't carry my iPad around with me all the time. If you're gonna make me carry my iPad with me all the time, I can do that, but on the other hand, I can carry my packet with me anytime and read it and take notes on it. It'd be great to have something that's readable.
Okay.
The text is fine, it's just a lot of times the figures, anything in
The
color
mapping.
gets washed out.
How much do we charge per copy when it comes to that printer?
I'd have to look at the invoice.
Okay.
Do you know how many pages? I know we were starting to look at some of that, like the amount of copies that we make is pretty extensive.
Right.
That we
We're
throw
getting a digital
away.
version to save us money.
The price is going up per copy also.
I think we should just upgrade our iPads and use a pen. We can draw right on the iPads and then we don't have to print anything.
Yep.
That's the way I feel.
Just do that and just keep the original on a separate one that has a better quality. Okay. Then we'll continue to work on it. All right,
Thank you.
we're gonna recess into a closed session in compliance with statute 13D.03 subdivision 1 labor discussion. We need a motion. I just recess into that.
Yeah.
Right?
Just recess.